Now, hello, thank you for your time. Now, I'd like to talk about one of the things that is the most important thing to me in my being. I would be nothing without this thing. I'd like to talk to you about dreams. What is it that you dream of? What is it that you wish that you could be? Where do you dream of being? Where do you see yourself being in 5 minutes, 5 days from now, 5 years from now? What do you dream you are where you will be? Well, let's talk about the dreams of some of the people that are inside this cell with me. Let's talk about some of the dreams of the immigrants and some of the problems that they have to go through that are not dreams, they're kind of nightmares. Now, some stories were shared with me about the policies of the Romanian government and the things that they do to immigrants. Now, let me inform you one of the things, now this is a fact. One of the things is the UN or the EU or whatever gives the Romanian government 7,000 euros a year for each refugee. And that refugee receives about $25 a month and housing. How are you supposed to live off this? One of the things that I do know, when you go to France and you do receive any kind of help or whatever, and they can't, you do receive refugee status and you don't choose to stay there, they give you that 7,000 euros in your hand because it's your money to survive. Now, I was also told about another story about two Americans that were in here before me. And one had a visa for Bulgaria. And technically, he should have been let go to Bulgaria. But what did they do? This is what I don't understand. And this is why the system is so fucked up and corrupt. Now, if you're an American citizen, let me explain this to you. You don't need a visa. You can go anywhere because you're welcome. Unless you're like some kind of terrorist or something, and still, you're American. They don't care. So, for the Romanian Immigrant Service to spend about 1,000, 500, 200, 300 to send me back to the United States when they can pay 150 or maybe 150 to fly me to Bulgaria or 300 to France, it makes absolutely no sense to me. What it does say to me is this: the system is corrupt and messed up. Because they sent these two Americans back to the United States. The reason why I haven't gone to Canada is because Canada costs the same amount of money to fly to the United States. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find a ticket for about 800 euros. Normally, the ticket is 1,000 to 200 euros. 1,200 euros, okay? You can never make this money as an artist in Romania. I mean, the most money I've ever seen at one time in Romania was about 400 euros, and all of that money went to my rent. And then after I paid my rent and bought some food, I'm broke. So I don't understand how they could spend Romanian taxpayers' money to send Americans back when they can send them to another surrounding country And if they want to go back, or if they can do whatever they want but not come back here, it doesn't cost them barely anything. And they say it's their legal, they legally have to send you back to your country. Well, I know in the UN law and other laws, there's a thing called special circumstances. There's a thing called common courtesy. There's a thing called common sense. There's a thing called regulation of yourself and your soul and your spirit, and doing what is fundamentally right by God. Now, what I mean by this is simply, if you have 3-4 Americans here, that's roughly about 5,000, 6,000 euros to send them back. Well, double that, okay? Because they have to pay for the escort to come with the American and fly back. So what I'm trying to understand is, who's this escort and what is this escort really doing? Is he just taking back the prisoner, or is he taking something else, or is he doing something else, or blah 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 blah, or is there more money being made off this transaction, and is this why they are on such a I must fly back to the States? Because I don't really understand. Common sense won't allow me to understand how you can spend so much money on two people. One is the guard and one is the migrant, to fly back to the U.S. And like this, when this person can go to another country and get out of jail, get out of this migrant center, and get out of your hair. I mean, I can understand there are some people that get stranded here, but what about the people that don't want to go back to their country? What about the people that know that America has been killing innocent Iraqis and other innocent Americans for 10 years and longer? And what I mean by longer is, I'm an Afro-American Olmec Indian. So I come from a generation of slaves and American Indians. One half of my family was enslaved and killed. The other half was completely wiped off the map. This is my bloodline. This is America for me and my family. And you want to send me back to this? You want to send me back to getting beat by cops and being pulled off the street because of the color of my skin? You want to send me back to a country that's going to shoot me first and ask questions later because, oh, I thought maybe he was a Muslim or a terrorist? You want to send me to a country that says that, 13 so-called Muslims hijacked airplanes with paper cutters, and then they found a Muslim passport on the ground of 9/11. How the hell can a passport survive in an imploding building, a burning airplane, and the list goes on and on and on? How can a cop just, oh, I found this terrorist passport? It makes no sense. But people refuse to see the truth, because the fact of the matter is, my own country does and did what they do best: kill their own citizens when they need to obtain an objective. And that their objective is to start a world war. So this has been going on in Iraq for 10 years. And they can't find Osama bin Laden. Why can't they find Osama bin Laden? Well, am I dreaming? I mean, Am I dreaming? Why can't they find Osama bin Laden? I mean, is this like a bad dream or what? I mean, I'm from the most powerful country, the most informed people, and they can't find one guy that's supposedly hiding in the mountains. Well, let me tell you the facts about Osama bin Laden. I knew about Osama bin Laden way before any of you people did, okay? Because my father used to be in the hazardous waste disposal business. When I was a kid, my father ate at Reagan dinners, $200, $300 plate dinners. What I mean is $200, $300. It was $200, $300 a plate to sit in the same room with Reagan. These were his fundraisers. These are the places my father attended. Now, Arbusto Energies, have you heard of Arbusto Energies? Look it up online. Arbusto Energies. Arbusto Energies was the Bush's first investment, particularly George Jr., before he became the governor. Arbusto Energies was the first investment in Texas where I grew up. My last name is Ewing. Okay? And let me let you know, South Fork was a plantation. You know, South Fork from the show Dallas, it was a plantation. So I know my history. I'm sorry if you don't. So my father worked with Arbusto Energies. Okay? And Osama bin Laden's wife, yes, let me repeat this. Osama bin Laden's wife's father was the biggest investor in Arbusto Energies in Texas, and still is, and owns over half of Arbusto Energies. And this is the Bush's company. And so if our Marines and the Secret Service and everybody is looking for Osama bin Laden, why don't they just go ask Osama bin Laden's wife's father? Because he's doing business with Bush Jr. Have you bothered asking him where Tim Osman is? Oh, excuse me. Tim Osman was Osama bin Laden's American name that the FBI gave him for his passport when he would travel abroad in the United States under U.S. protection. So, again, this is about dreams. And no, I'm not dreaming. I grew up in this. I'm not making this up. Any idiot can go online and look this up. But people refuse to. They turn on bullshit like CNN. They turn on bullshit like Romanian TV. And they get brainwashed and they get dumbed down when all they have to do is go online and research it and find out for yourself, because there it is right in front of you, but a news reporter is not going to tell you the truth. So, yes, this is about dreams. And let me tell you about my dream. I had a dream of coming to this country because nobody is as talented as me back in the United States. I mean, I had plenty of contracts come to me and people come to me from many major labels and ask me to sign my name on the dotted line, but me, I like doing things my way. And when these people came to me, you know what it said to me? You're good. You're one of the best. If these people want to sign you, you don't need them. Keep on doing what you're doing. This is what my voice and this is what my dream said to me. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing what I do best. Talk about the truth. Showing people how to cut through the lies. Showing people where to point the fingers, where to look. Because it doesn't take much to show people the truth. Why? Because, my friend, I'm with God. And anybody that lies and kills so many people, that's the devil. That's the beast. And I pray for the beast. Yeah, I pray for them. I pray for them to go away. I pray for them to meet their end. I pray for God's children to see. I pray for God's children to rise. I pray for the children of the light to take back their blood right and bring heaven to this earth. This is what I pray for. This is my dream. Now, even as the corrupt Romanian system has me locked away, and only God knows what is going to happen to me, but I put my faith in the Lord. And this is what I've always done. This is what I have always had to do when I had to disappear on the streets after I said no to a very large sum of money from my stepbrother as becoming his artist. I lived on the streets for 9, 10 months with nothing. And I saw the true face of America. I saw how real Americans treat people with nothing. I know how it feels to go without food for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I know how it is to go without showers for a month. I know how it is to have absolutely nothing but the things you carry on your back. And in the Orthodox faith, it says suffering. Yes, suffering leads to enlightenment because He suffered for all of us. And this is the thing that kept me going. The story of Job. Do you know that? This is the thing that kept me going. My name, Zacharias. The story of the tax collector. The story of the man that climbed a tree to get close to God and he fell off and God came to him and said, "You don't need to climb the tree to get closer to me. I am that tree. I am the ground you fell upon. I am you. I am always with you. Search for me not. For once you understand this, you will have no need to search for me, for I am always there by your side." These are the things that kept me going, and this is why I'm still alive. So I sit here and think about my dreams and think about my biggest dream of having a beautiful wife and a family and someone that loves me for me. And think about how close I came to having that in this country. And just one big swoop, and the female cartel just took it away. So this is why I pray for these evil men that make their money and their living off the backs of women and children to meet their bitter end. I pray one day there will be not one Romanian child or woman sold into slavery. Not anymore. I pray for the war to stop. I pray for the Muslims and the people in Iran and the Moors and everyone to find peace. Because I am so deeply sorry that they have to suffer so much behind the evil deeds of, 20 men that want to run the world? The Illuminati, the Nazis, Freemasons that hate us because of the color of our skin, because it's not white, because they don't consider us pure. Why? Because we know what God is. Because we were on this earth before them. Because my descendants are of Olmecs. And the Olmecs were the people that built the statues on Easter Island. Because the Sumerians were here before the Anunnaki. Because Samaria is where modern day Iraq is right now. And this is why they attack it, to rob that history. I mean, people really need to wake up and see the truth for what it is. This is my dream. Like Martin Luther King, I have a dream. love and peace. R.I.P. Michael Jackson. R.I.P. Martin Luther King. But most of all, R.I.P. to the women that get sold into slavery and that end up on the chopping block and get their organs sold in the black market, and they don't even have a grave. They don't even have a name. R.I.P. to them. Bless each and every one, for you did not die in vain. As long as I have my chest beating inside of my heart. How are you supposed to live off this? One of the things that I do know, when you go to France and you do receive any kind of help or whatever, and they can't, you do receive refugee status and you don't choose to stay there, they give you that 7,000 euros in your hand because it's your money to survive. Now, let me inform you one of the things. Now, this is a fact. One of the things is the UN or the EU or whatever gives the Romanian government 7,000 euros a year for each refugee. And that refugee receives about $25 a month and housing. Now, hello, thank you for your time. Now, I'd like to talk about one of the things that is the most important thing to me in my being. I would be nothing without this thing. I'd like to talk to you about dreams. What is it that you dream of? Some of the people that are inside this cell with me. Let's talk about some of the dreams of the immigrants and some of the problems that they have to go through that are not dreams, they're kind of nightmares. Now, some stories were shared with me about the policies of the Romanian government and the things that they do to immigrants. What is it that you wish that you could be? Where do you dream of being? Where do you see yourself being in 5 minutes, 5 days from now, 5 years from now? What do you dream you are where you will be? Well, let's talk about the dreams of